Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
I want you to reply with real scary things that happen to you. No monsters or scary demon spooky shadows. I'm talking gun pointed at you or almost drowning kind of stuff.
I was shot in the back by a .22. I was walking and minding my own business and I heard this loud pop, kinda like a firework went off. Instantly I feel hot and my back hurts. I fell down onto one knee, kinda hard to breathe. Here, you shot the fucker. And it sets me off. I chase the guy with the gun down, all the while screaming at 1 a.m. The chase ends at 7-Eleven. A cop tries to stop us. I stop. The dude keeps going. The cop questions me. I show him my back. The dude was arrested for attempted manslaughter. Scared I was going to die. I wanted him to come with me for trying to kill me.
I used to live in a duplex house with a crawl space and a fancy-looking back door made mostly of glass. I thought the crawl space was the coolest thing on earth. I'd go down there to read books or play my Game Boy by this little lamp I was allowed to set up down there. The door was just a piece of floorboard in one of the closets that had a patch of carpet glued to the top. When it was closed, you couldn't see it. You really had to know where the door was and dig at it with your fingers until it came loose. So it was a Saturday afternoon and nobody wanted to come over. I took my Game Boy Color, a couple cartridges, and a fruit leather down there with me and decided to make a day of it. Mom was out at an AA meeting. Dad moved away years ago, so I was all alone. I heard something crash into the house overhead and footsteps slowly thumping around above. I turned off the sound, dimmed down the lamp, and just held my breath. I heard the closet door open, but I heard it swing shut again soon after, and I heard the footsteps moving away. I can't remember exactly when they left the house, but I just sort of pushed it out of my mind and decided to wait until Mom got home. A Mountie came to open up the crawl space, and at first I wasn't going to go with him, but I heard Mom telling me it was okay from just outside the crawl space door. I was only 6, so it wasn't for a long time until I realized how bad a situation that had really been. But I can't think of another time she ever hugged me so tightly or for so long. In the end, I guess we were lucky that all that went missing was a jewelry box and Walkman. The next day, the doors had both been replaced by these heavy steel things, painted the same off-white color as the rest of the house's siding.
2 years ago, I was almost stabbed in the neck while being mugged. In a busy party district, nightclubs and bars all around. A friend needs to go to the bathroom. There's porta potties across the street. Street lights are not enough, sort of dark around them. My friend goes in, I lean on the door so it doesn't open. 2 meters from me, a raggedy crackhead black guy leaning against a tree. In a split second, he comes towards me with a kitchen knife, grabs my collar, presses the tip against my throat. I quickly grab the blade before it punctures my skin. Miraculously didn't cut my hand. Hand me your money and your wallet. I think, shit, my phone's not with me. He's not going to believe me. Say I have money in my boot, and I'm going to slowly reach for it. He slaps me. I use the movement to throw myself a little to his side, reach for my boot while measuring distance between his arm and my body. He has the knife against my stomach now. I hand him the money. While he switches the knife to his non-dominant hand to receive the money, I bolt. Jump like a fucking gazelle out of a crocodile's mouth. Feel his hand grazing the back of my collar, didn't catch it. Throw myself into oncoming traffic, relax my body waiting for collision. The car brakes, I run. Now, for the X-worthy part. 1 month previous, my friend, who is a nurse, saved a guy's life on the same street. She saw him wandering around with a panicked look, holding his throat. When she asked him to remove his hand, there was a coin-sized hole that punctured both his neck and trachea. Later in the hospital, he told her they mugged him, and after handing them everything, they still stabbed him. Nightmare mode. 6 months after my case, a guy my age was murdered on the same fucking street. Same modus operandi, handed everything, got throat stabbed, bled to death. I've talked to the cops after the incident. They claim there's a 20-plus group of criminals who do this to people on that street at random hours of the day.
Roommate goes out for a run. I'm alone in the house listening to music. Hear the door open and footsteps. Roommate must be back, huh? Weird. Leave my room and look down the stairs to see a hooded and masked dude in vinyl gloves. He looks up at me. Dumbfounded and probably in shock, I say, "Sup?" He motions for me to come downstairs. Reality clicks and I freak out. Run back to my room and slam the door, screaming, trying to bolster it. The dude is shouting to 2 other people downstairs and running upstairs. He kicks the door in. Beats the shit out of me. "Where's the dope? Where's the dope? Where's the dope? Stop lying, where's the dope?" I freak out, telling him I don't know what he's talking about. We're just college students. No one sells drugs. He points a gun at me, steals my laptop, ransacks the house. 2 other dudes come upstairs looking for drugs, stealing everyone's laptops in the process. He takes my phone and smashes it, takes my wallet and my ID. Gun pointed, he walks me to my roommate's room. Lay face down. Yup. This is how I die. "Where's the money?" "I don't know what money you're talking about. We don't sell drugs. We don't sell drugs." They find where we stash our rent money. They speak to each other in patois for like 5 seconds. "You lied. I have your ID. I will kill you. Don't move for 30 minutes. They leave. Cower in fear for the next 30 minutes while bleeding out all over my roommate's martial arts outfit thing. More happened, but that's the gist of it. Scary stuff. Had nightmares about it for like 3 months and couldn't sleep for the first 2 weeks afterwards.
Well, I doubt anybody will believe me, but this happened about 2 years ago. Also, if you live in the 240 or 301 area, please read this because I really want to know what this place was. There's this railroad behind my friend's apartment, and we had heard rumors about a really great lake to swim in if you just walk down the railroad for a little. We thought it sounded fun enough, and having nothing better to do, we picked up some beer and started walking down the railroad. We never found this supposed swimming hole, but we found a large building that was abandoned. We're in our mid-20s but adventurous, so we decided to try and get in. The only entrance we could find was this metal hatch, which was locked. Being the fucking idiots we are, we broke the lock and jammed the hatch open. That's when the alarm went off. We assumed that an old alarm system that was never really removed from the building was activated, so we began to casually walk away. All of a sudden, these 2 guys in suits came running from behind the building and chasing us. We ran for our fucking lives down the railroad, hearing 3 gunshots behind us before these said men stopped chasing us. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it all happened. I'm so curious and I want to go back, but I know that it's dangerous.
Late 90s. Different time then. I was around 10 and my brother was 9, but everyone from 5 to 19-ish seemed to hang out together in the street. One night, the dude across the road who was 19 asked if me and my brother wanted to play some Resident Evil 2 with him because we didn't have it. Why not? One of his mates, who we vaguely know, turns up who's about the same age as him. The one we know starts telling us this story about a necklace his mother has. She got it in the Caribbean years ago. Carries some kind of curse, so she keeps it in a locked cabinet. Anyone who wears it immediately gets sick. He takes it from the cabinet and dares us to wear it. None of us believe it, but there's always that what if, so we don't risk it. His mate says he'll do it because it's pure bullshit. He wears it for a few minutes. All of a sudden, vomits everywhere. Then, diarrhea's on himself. Pulls the necklace off. Sprints out the front door. Jinkies, it's real. Except it isn't, and the one we know is just as puzzled as us. It's only some piece that his mother bought from town, but it made an interesting display piece. He just made the /x/story up as he went along to spook me and my brother, because we were playing Resident Evil 2, so it was fitting with the mood. Easily 6 months before, we see his mate again, and he looks completely haggard. He's looking for the one we know, but he isn't around. Leaves. Takes his own life the same night. The one we know tells us from his mate's mum that he was having nightmares and seemed to have an ongoing illness he couldn't get rid of. The one we know even told him it was just a load of bullshit, but he wouldn't believe a word of it because he had witnessed it firsthand. That power of suggestion ain't no joke. Or maybe it really was cursed. Who the fuck knows?
B16. Walking back home from school, carrying my backpack and a grocery store bag full of DVDs and shit. Suddenly, a motorcycle with 2 dudes on it blocks my way. One guy jumps off. "Give me everything, you fucker." "No!" And I start running the other way. They catch up with me at like 2 blocks distance. In a millisecond, the guy jumps from the motorcycle with a rusty old kitchen knife and tries to fucking stab me. Somehow managed to avoid it and threw the fucking bag full of DVDs at him. Run the remaining 2 blocks back to school and call my dad crying. To think I was almost murdered over a couple DVDs, it frightens me more than aliens, interdimensional beings, reptilians and skinwalkers all together. Humans are fucking scary.
And they want to disarm us when there's stupid fuckers trying to mug kids over shit like that. I hope they got shot by someone else later.
Yeah, I don't get the reasoning at all. I buy a gun legally and have the permission to carry it. A criminal buys a gun illegally but doesn't have permission to carry, or he buys it on the black market. We're in equal conditions with the law on my side because I'm a law-abiding citizen. When he tries to rob me, I can shoot him and everybody is happy. And this is what they want. I can't buy a gun, or I can buy it but not carry it. The criminal still can buy guns on the black market. The criminal enters my house and kills me and my whole family without a single retaliation opportunity.
Mexican here, happy that our police officers are not so trigger-happy as some in the U.S. B16 or 17 used to play paintball every weekend. One Saturday we celebrated a friend's birthday. Near his home there was a vacant lot. Used to be a parking lot, so it's empty, flat, with some garbage here and there and even an old forgotten car. We play there. We never played there before, so we just climb the fence, gather the stuff and start playing. We were about 15 guys, mostly wearing camo and obviously wearing paintball masks. 30 minutes playing and we hear the sirens. Several patrol cars. A police truck. The van and truck type. "This is the police. Drop your weapons and face on the ground," or something like that. Police officers everywhere pointing their guns at us, yelling orders, etc. After they check that our weapons seem nothing like a real gun and that they're fake, and that we're just a bunch of teenagers playing on a vacant lot they release us. Apparently, some asshole reported 20 masked guys shooting each other, and the police thought it was a gang or drug war. Another story, this time from a friend. Actually, the birthday guy of the last post. After high school, I lost contact with him for a couple of years. My friend was 21 and he was working as a volunteer for the Red Cross on an ambulance. Friday, 3 or 4 p.m., they got a call. Someone took their life on the subway. They arrive, the station already closed, just police and subway personnel down there. No power on the rails. Apparently waited until the train arrived at the station and jumped in front of it. The driver couldn't stop. They walk a couple of meters into the tunnel to scrape the remains, since they were not expecting anything else besides pieces of the jumper. They found a mangled body, badly injured, exposed gray matter, several exposed fractures, etc. All the worst things you can imagine. The body was so injured they couldn't identify the gender at first sight. Assume it's a woman because of the clothes and a shoe they recover. Scrape the remains. Check the pulse just to cover that on the paperwork. WTF, she was still alive somehow. Try to take her ASAP to the hospital. She died before reaching the ambulance outside the subway station.
Not creepy, just a sad tale. Be 15 or 16, had a classmate who we used to call the Monster. He was tall but not huge or imposing, really introvert and shy. He only talked to the teachers to answer something. Actually, the guy was brilliant. He was one of the best students. Never, ever talked to us. Just made grunts and weird noises. Every day, his mum took him to school and picked him up. I only saw him smile when he was with her. According to several teachers, he was fine. No autism, not an Aspi, nothing like that. Just really shy and with several emotional issues. Lost contact with him after high school. A friend told me that the guy was rejected by a couple of universities. He was a NEET for a while. His mum died, and the Monster took his own life. They found his body a week after his death, when the neighbors complained about the smell. He died alone and nobody cared about him.
Be around 7 or 8, camping at the beach with my family. My sister and I are walking to the public showers after a long day of playing in the sand. At the outside of the showers, there is a man and a small dog. He approaches us, asks us if we want to watch his dog for a little while. My sister and I don't have a pet, so we say, yeah. Fucking stupid, I know. He tells us to meet him back at the same spot after dark. What.jpg. We walk away with the puppy and return back to camp, where our family is. My family is pissed that we have a stranger's dog. My grandma knows something is up and calls the campground's police. Have to tell them everything about the guy. The police find him waiting for us by the showers. They tell us he had rope and duct tape in his truck, and they had complaints of a man trying to talk to children all day. It wasn't even scary to me back then, because I don't think I understood it. But now I wonder what could have happened and if I'd still be alive.
Turn 24. My family drags me to the beach despite me having other plans. My brother rented a motorboat, drags me onto it even though they know I hate the ocean. Mom, sister, and the collective children stay at the beach. My brother is driving while the 3 other people on are drinking. Manage to fall asleep, wake up underwater, swim to the surface and see absolutely nothing anywhere. Feeling sick with fear. My body feels like air, don't know what to do. Eventually just accept my fate. and let my body drift, fall into a deep sleep as the ocean gently cradles me, wake up in a hospital.
Not mine, but this happened to my mom back when she was a kid. My mom throws a slumber party, invites 3 other girls. My grandpa won't get off from work until early morning, so it's just my grandma, mom, and her friends at the house. Around midnight, some big stranger dude knocks on the door, which was nothing but a big-ass sliding glass door, asking to use the phone. Says that his semi-truck broke down on the highway at the bottom of the hill. My grandma won't open the door and doesn't understand why the guy came to their house of all places, since there were numerous other houses he could have went to for help that were much closer to where his truck supposedly was. The guy gets angry and starts pounding on the glass door, trying to force his way inside. My mom and her friends are freaking out and crying. My grandma calmly leaves and returns with the gun she keeps in her room. The guy leaves. My grandma goes to the back porch patio, which is on the 2nd story and not accessible from the ground. With a clear view of the highway, she doesn't see a truck anywhere, but she can see the dude just staring at her from the road. She calls the cops, but they don't do shit because the cops around here have always been worthless. The supposed trucker was long gone by then. So yeah, pretty anticlimactic, but if I would have been there, I probably would have shit myself. That guy could have easily busted through that sliding glass door and probably would have if my grandma hadn't scared him off.
Crazy aunt who frequently does drugs. Crazy in that she has some bipolar type disorder and episodes. She'll basically act really fucked up for days at a time and make bad decisions. The whole family has become used to her episodes. One day I'm working in my dad's store. He had warned me she might come by. Sure enough, I hear the jingle on the bell alarm on the door. I'm in the back, so I just kind of poke my head out. She hadn't seen me yet. She's whispering to herself, just whispering her own name over and over. Nope intensifies. I start to move out to talk to her. She rears back like she's gonna jump me. I need to use the internet. All right, go ahead. She goes in the back and I hear rapid typing, just kind of waiting at the counter, hoping she'll leave. Realize my wallet is back there with her. Don't want my wallet snatched or some shit, so I kind of try to move in on the sly. She startles like instant reaction time. I'm trying to find a lawyer I gotta make pay. Look at the computer screen. She's on some district attorney's website. Jerks her head back to the screen. I note back out front. Finally, after an hour, she leaves. I check the search history. Beach real estate sites. I guess it's really only scary on a personal level. I was only 16 at the time, and my family's had to deal with this nut for years, along with 3 other drugged-up crazy relatives, and her behavior is unpredictable. I thought she was going to tweak out and try to get physical on me. One more story about Aunt Nutjob. Then I got to get some sleeps. I'm age 11, Dad says. We're going to visit Aunt. Oh, Dad, please no. This was around the age when I was actually starting to notice how messed up her actions were. She had gotten divorced and was inviting male friends over like every day. Her kids won't talk to her. My dad kind of dragged me along. We're there. Things are awkward. Dad did some errand for her, moved furniture or something I can't remember. Suddenly a male friend pulls up. Ayo, what's up? He knows my dad. I smell a setup. Dad wants to hang with his old buddy. Will you be all right here for a few minutes, kiddo? Hell no. Dad don't leave me with her. My aunt is basically sitting there sad. Dad's guilt overwhelms him. Just talk to her for a few minutes. He leaves me there at her house. My aunt perks up. Want to see my collection? Oh, Lord.jpg. It's just a pile of cheesy romance books. She starts telling me about her fantasies, like how they make her feel and shit like that. Big strong men, loneliness, etc., etc. Do you ever think about sex? You old enough though, mumbling. She walks away a few steps, turns back really fast. Before I can respond, she pulls my shirt up over my head. Oh God, what is happening? She looks at my chest for a few seconds, then walks away. I'm freaked out, on the verge of tears. I walked in the yard after that and pretended to be really interested in the fence line. Considered just walking home since my house wasn't that far. Dad returns a few minutes later. We gotta get the fuck out of here, Dad. He looks confused, but we leave. It wasn't a good experience. People tell me I overreacted, but man, I was just a kid. I didn't need that breach of personal space.
About 2 years ago, me and a handful of friends had decided to explore some abandoned buildings in town. First was a farmhouse on the edge of town, and the second stop on our trip was going to be a construction site in a new subdivision. There were 5 of us all piled into a little car. Myself, Jack, Matt, Jordan, and Foster. Foster drove. We pulled the car onto the gravel shoulder of the road. It was about 11 o'clock if I remember correctly, and the night was just really starting to get dark. The house we were going to was quite a distance from the road, and the trail was unpaved, ungraveled, basically ruts in the mud, with dense trees on either side. Foster wouldn't shut up about how cool it was going to be, Matt. Jordan and Jack all fought for each other's attention, and I just sort of tuned out. We took a corner and dipped through a ditch, and our flashlights flickered over something standing in the middle of the path. Anyway, there was a big animal in the middle of the trail, about 15 feet in front of us. 4 spindly legs, coarse black hair, and it was just staring at us. It took a few more seconds of stare down before we realized it was a moose. Now, an adult moose stands about 6 feet high at the shoulder, another 2 to 3 feet at the crown of the head, and another 2 feet high if it has antlers, so a top range of about 12 feet. They get fucking huge. Ours wasn't that big though, maybe 9 feet total, no antlers. But that's still a 9-foot-tall wild animal with a penchant for attacking anything that gets too close. We don't breathe a word, we just start inching away, backwards. It starts stepping forwards. The sound these things make is just awful, like a groaning hum. If you've seen The Addams Family, remember the butler? That's the noise this thing makes as it's checking us out. We managed to get through the ditch without startling it or stumbling, and we just inch our way all the way back to the car. So stop 1 is off the agenda for the night. We count heads and decide to head for the second stop.
Be me, 3 years ago, at a party with a friend. My friend took 1 gram of DPH. He's gone. A fight breaks out. My friend is fucked up beyond belief. The fight spills into the front yard. A fat fuck, like 30-something at a high school party, starts screaming about his cousin not getting a fair fight. Says he's going to get a gun and settle shit. He does a burnout in the driveway, drives down the road, wrecks his car just down the street at the stop sign. Everyone's leaving. Can't find my friend. Fuck. 10 minutes later, I find my friend walking back to the car. Cop cars swarm the street, blocking it off. Guns drawn, telling us to lie down and shit. There was a group of us walking back, maybe 20 of us. Do as they say, my fucked up friend lying beside me. Starts speaking in Spanish loudly cause of delirium. Asks if we need to run. I say no. He tries to take off running and gets fucking tased. I start to get up, but I'm met with a gun barrel and a cop screaming, "Don't make any moves!"
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.